This conference will now be recorded.
All right, let's go ahead and get this underway. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. The time is now 6 p.m. The regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Trinidad will now come to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get started, I just wanted to mention to everyone, there are people that may be on the line that maybe want to talk in the communications portion. We want to, appreciate you, anyone that's out there that is listening in. We have 25 people, it looks like, at this time tied in to listen or watch the meeting tonight. Make sure that your phones are muted, your mics are muted, and what I'll do is, if there is someone that wants to speak during the open communications, please let me know. I'll try to watch for it, and then unmic or unmute your mic and we'll allow you to speak. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Roll call, please.
Here. 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 Here.
Shoe?
Here.
Williamson?
Here.
Rico?
Here. Approval of the agenda. Does the council have any changes or considerations for the agenda? Not, could I have a motion, please?
No motion. Second.
Okay. Call the vote, please.
Goodall?
Yes.
Rico?
Yes.
Hank?
Yes.
Ogletree?
Yes.
Shoe?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Rico?
Yes. And just for everyone that's on, that's listening in, we do have a pretty short agenda tonight. We have a little bit of discussion on a couple items, but it'll probably go rather quickly. Item 3, policy items and staff reports. There's the engineer for the Santa Fe Trail water main project. Mike, there's a gentleman, I'm not sure what his name is, but if you're on, could you introduce yourself and you want to give us an update, please?
You bet, Mayor Mark Hornberger, who is on site affecting the project, is online. I see him. He just needs to unmute. And Mark, if you would, give us an update.
Hi, I'm Mark Hornberger, the resident rep for the Santa Fe Trail Water Replacement Project with GMS. Just wanted to give the council an update. So far in the project, we've installed 1,477 lineal feet of 20-inch PVC, 1,071 feet of bedding on that, 632 square yards of asphalt. We completed the 150-foot bore underneath I-25 between the frontage road, the east side of the I-25, and installed one air vent. Next week, later this week and next week, we'll be finishing coming up the hill by the motel there and coming down Adams Street towards Santa Fe Trail. And then I assume we'll probably be going down Santa Fe Trail or across down Adams Street next week.
Okay. Any questions from council to Mark?
What percentage of the project would that be completed to date, roughly?
I have to double check. I think we're about 40% complete.
Okay.
On that.
Okay, Rusty, you had a question?
Need to unmute, Rusty?
I had pretty much the same question. How much was done, and are we on schedule to finish the project on time?
Yes, we are. Yes, we should have it finished in the time frame allotted on the contract.
I can't remember exactly when that time frame is. Can you kind of give us when that was?
I believe it's the first part of August.
Okay.
When we should be done.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions, if you don't mind. What, and it might be for Mike or yourself to answer, but what is the operating pressure of that pipeline, and what is the hydrostatic test procedure for that pipeline? Just
The hydrostatic test pressure, I believe, is 150 psi for 2 hours. On that, I don't know what the operating pressure is. I believe it's around 80 pounds, but it depends on where in the system you're at. You get down by the frontage, lower part of the frontage road on the west side, it's probably a little higher than it would be up by the pump station.
And so do you have to hold that pressure, or is there a window that you're allowed to be in?
The industry standard on that is a 2-hour test, and you're allowed on a 20-inch line, you are allowed, I believe it's 20 gallons per day per mile of allowable leakage.
Okay.
Which, typically we don't have any leakage on that, so.
Okay, I was just curious, thank you.
Well, it's good to see that this project is underway. That's a project that has been under consideration for some time, and it's good to see that for two reasons. One is we get that water leak taken care of, and second of all, that portion of the road is pretty horrendous, and it's going to get taken care of and straightened out. We get a lot of complaints about that area being so rough. So thank you for the work, and hopefully that progress continues the way it's going. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Do we have anybody else on that we're considering wanted to talk on the petitions or communications? If there's someone out there that you would have to unmute. I guess not. Okay, at this time I've got a proclamation to read. It's National Nurses Month, and I got a proclamation here. Office of the Mayor, Trinidad, Colorado Proclamation, National Nurses Month, May 2020. Whereas the World Health Organization has designated 2020 as the year of the nurse and midwife with the theme Nurses, a Voice to Lead. Nursing the World to Health, demonstrating how nurses are central to addressing a wide range of health challenges. And whereas nearly 3 million registered nurses in the United States comprise our nation's largest healthcare profession, and whereas the depth and breadth of the nursing profession meets the diverse and emerging health care needs of the American population in a wide range of settings, and whereas professional nursing has been demonstrated to be an indispensable component in the safety and quality of care of all patients, and whereas with an increasing American lifespan resulting from life-sustaining technology and medical advances, the demand for nursing services is greater than ever and has now been stressed even further due to the impacts of the coronavirus pandemic, and whereas more qualified nurses are needed to meet the increasingly complex need of healthcare consumers across the country, and whereas the cost-effective, safe, and quality healthcare services provided by nurses will be an even more important component of the U.S. healthcare delivery system in the future. And whereas all around the world, especially right now, nurses are working tirelessly to provide the care and attention people need wherever or whenever and wherever they need it. Now therefore, I, Philip T. Rico, Mayor of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2020 as National Nurses Month in the City of Trinidad, and ask that the residents of this community join me in honoring and celebrating the nurses who care for all of us, who strive to provide safe and high quality patient care, and ask that you show your appreciation to the nation's nurses at every opportunity. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of this city to be affixed. Philip T. Rico, May the 5th, 2020. And I don't know if there's anybody from the hospital or the nurses out there. Deep felt gratitude for what you're doing in this time of uncertainty. You show up on the job not knowing what to expect from one day to the next. And I want to say thank you very much from on behalf of myself, City Council, staff, and hopefully for the entire City of Trinidad. Thank you very much for what you do. I'm not sure if anybody of council wants to address anything to that. I think now would be the time. Okay. Consent agenda, item 5, approval. Item 5A, approval of the regular meeting minutes of April the 21st, 2020, and special meeting minutes of April 20th, 2020. Item B, consent and confirmation of appointment of City Clerk Audra Garrett as acting city manager during temporary absence of the city manager pursuant to section 6.3 of the Home Rule Charter. Item C, approval of the bills for $819,506.31. Item D, approval of payroll May the 2nd, 2020 through May the 15th, 2020 for $349,796.28. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Call vote, please.
Pluto,
Yes.
Grego,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. Item 6, public hearings, we have none. Item 7, unfinished business, we have none. Item 8, miscellaneous business. 8A, a resolution imposing level 1 water restrictions. Could I have a motion, please?
So
There was a first and a seconder, I assume. Mike, you want to go ahead and explain a little bit to those listening?
Sure, you bet. Thank you, Mayor. It was great to see that rain today. Hopefully that continues. But as you notice in your packet, we are already in deep to severe drought. It's not extreme yet, but it's a severe drought. And our snowpack is 5% of normal. And if you are able to look at the snowpack chart, you can see where 2018 in the yellow was way down, and 2019 wasn't a bad year, but here we are in 2020, and we're trending down, and we didn't get the spring snows. Our reservoirs are mostly full, so we're good there. If we continue to get these rains, we're good, but we're asking, the residents to not water between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. during the day for now. That's the level 1 restrictions. That helps with, when you water in the heat of the day, it really just evaporates. So if you're during, the morning or in the evening, it's better for plants and everything. So we're there now. We're hoping that with those restrictions, we don't have to go farther, but we'll continue to monitor the snowpack, the lakes. North Lake is at 90%, so that's fairly good. Monument Lake is 90% of capacity, and we're currently moving water rights from our pool at Trinidad Lake upstream to North and Monument and filling those up. So it's good that we have those water rights, but we also need to really keep diligent with water conservation and such, so that we don't have to go any further. So with that, I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Rusty just, sent a message that they're calling for maybe some mountain snow and some mountain snow on Friday. That's good to hear. Any questions for Mike on this resolution? Go ahead, Karen.
When we went through this a couple of years ago when the drought was worse than it is now, Mike gave us a list of the 10 highest users of water in the city. And I'm wondering, Mike, would it be a good idea to notify these people that we're under the restrictions? And the reason I say that is that same year when Pinon Canyon had their maneuvers that summer, I went to the opening meeting and I asked them what they were doing to conserve water at Pinon Canyon, and they didn't even know they were supposed to. So I just, as a precautionary measure, maybe we should advise those entities and businesses.
That's a good point, and I will do that. And also, we are hopefully going to have a story, press release, come out in the newspaper so that there's already people out there that do not realize the condition we're in. So we'll get that word out. And also with that, we also notified all the grow facilities, marijuana, the cannabis grow facilities, the last time, and we will do that again. And they were very gracious, and we were able to monitor their water usage, and they stayed within norms. So thank you for that.
Rusty, you had a question?
Yeah, I think my park up here was number 9 or 10 on that list, and as soon as we decided to go this direction, I put notifications out at both of my parks. So we're on top of it, trying to do our part for sure.
You know, Mike, I think that I remember one of them, of course, was the golf course, and I can't remember what the other list. Maybe these particular people asked, and maybe you have some contact with them, just ask them to please begin to conserve where they can. I think it might be a good idea for those high-end users. And Rusty, you mentioned that, and I thank you for taking the approach that you did. And it's that's the type of approach that we needed, across the board. Not only those people, but even ourselves, that whether we have plants, whether we have gardens, whether we have lawn, be very conservative with our water. Any other questions for Mike on this resolution?
I like Cheryl's comment that she posted on the chat.
I missed that.
Says, I believe we can track the meters that have come online in the meter project and usage during forbidden hours, if she's not mistaken.
That's a good point. Okay.
Yes, that capability we have, so it's a good point.
Okay. Okay, if there's no other questions, call the vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. On to item 9, council reports, starting with Mr. Matei.
Thank you. Well, I don't have a lot to report except that this is my second to the last meeting. This coming week, you'll receive a letter of resignation effective next meeting, so brace yourself.
Okay.
Okay. It's been a ride. I remember here we are doing meetings at home. We have an abbreviated agenda. According to my computer, we've been at it 18 minutes and we're almost done. As compared to those first meetings I went to, that were hours and painful. And we've come a long way, baby.
Yeah.
It's been quite, you'll hear more about it later. It's been quite an experience. There have been significant changes. I worked at the time for 4 of the then 7 chiefs of the Colorado State Patrol. And in my time here, I've worked for 4 mayors, or with 4 mayors, I should say. And that was an experience. And I worked with a lot of good people, a lot of great colleagues on council. staff has forever been what staff is. They are committed to us, and I'm very appreciative of everything that they, it's been a great experience is what I'm trying to say. There were some times that I wasn't real sure what the hell I was doing, and I think that was quite apparent. The whole idea about marijuana was case in point, but we plodded forward. It's like driving up on a 26-car wreck in the snow. You just start at the end and work your way through it and see what happens. And anyway, that's all I have to report. It's bittersweet. I know we're not going to change the residency requirement between now and the 19th, so I guess that will be my swan song on the 19th. I need to remind, or don't need to, I would like to remind that I have I represent the city in a significant on the COG board, and when my vacancy is filled, I suspect council will go through some process.
Yeah.
On COG.
Yeah, we will do that.
That has been a very, very meaningful position. COG is very, has a huge footprint in the Bi-County area. And I think that was probably one of the greater and more responsible things that I was called upon to do. At any rate, I'm rambling now and I apologize, but thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay.
I'll send you a short letter.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Grego?
Hey, Anthony, there's only one thing that I can say about all this is that our meetings are going to be quite a bit shorter once you're gone. I almost can guarantee it. You took up 3 minutes just telling us that you weren't talking, so that's
If you're having video meetings, I will call you from Denver. I'll keep you here till 10 o'clock.
Please, no. Anyway, I did want to make I did want to make a statement. I noticed on social media this weekend, there's a lot of pent-up frustration with some of the merchants downtown. They're kind of, excuse me, kind of infighting, finger pointing, and you know, it's just, this isn't the right time to do this, and I know everybody is very frustrated. I mean, you know, all of us on council, there was never a course offered to us for pandemic recovery and trying to keep a small municipality afloat in a crisis like this. So I'm hoping that everybody just tries to stay calm, try to stay positive, and you know, I think we're going to get through this one way or the other, but please be kind to one another. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Shu?
Well, I don't have anything to report at this time, Phil.
Okay. Miss Ogletree?
I know that there's Main Street Board has another cash mob program coming on Friday night for Marketplace Gallery. The one that I watched with Curly Speed went really well, and so that's a helpful thing that Main Street is doing to help local merchants to get out their information about what they're selling. So I'm glad of that. I have not heard of the finger pointing and thing. I'm sorry to hear about that, and I hope that that resolves soon. I had some happy news. I have a niece who gave birth to a baby today in Chicago safely. She and her husband were able to do that in a hospital there, and I'm just thankful for that in this time period that we're going through. So I'm a grand aunt.
Congratulations, Granddad.
Great aunt.
Great aunt.
Yeah, I was a good aunt before, now I'm a great aunt. So.
Good. All right, anything else?
No, that's
Rusty?
So, through this tough times, we all need to keep up our due diligence as elected officials, keep our eyes out for violations and try and do our part. I know I was able to catch some postings about some places opening up that aren't supposed to. We need to keep an eye on this, especially when it involves some city property. Monument Lake posted on Facebook that they were open for business campgrounds also. So I just ask for help on matters like this when we see places that aren't following the rules, to make sure that we go through the proper channels to help make sure we try to keep this community as safe as possible, especially with the first case at a gas station now. So we know we have people, for example, with the email that Mike sent out, we received with the complaint. We need to do our due diligence to try and keep things operating the way they're supposed to keep the community safe. That's all I got.
Okay. Mr. Williamson.
I had 2 comments. I received questions from the library board about operation of the library and how that was going to function with the reduced staff. I did mention to them that if operation returned to normal, that staff would be the part-time staff would be hired again. That's my understanding. That's correct, Mike? Okay, I see you nodding in the affirmative, so I think you were muted, but I understand it to be affirmative. The other thing that I had, I was wondering if we can at some point get an update as to the meter replacement program. We'd mentioned the meters earlier as to their being able to track utilization, so I just wondered how that project is coming. That might be a future endeavor. And then the last thing that I wanted to say is I'd definitely be interested if it's acceptable to other council members, and I don't know the process we go through for that fulfillment, but as Mr. Matei is exiting, I'd be interested in seeing about the Council of Governments board have been pretty actively involved with their food program and the work that goes on out there, as I know some of you other members are as well. But it's something that I'd be interested in and have the desire to do, so I just wanted to put my hat in the ring for that. That's all that I have.
Okay. Okay, from my end, just to let you know, this is some, hopefully good news, that Amtrak has a new CEO. Anderson is out as CEO, but he's going to be on staff till the end of the year. The new person that took over as of April the 17th is Michael Flynn. He comes from CSX, which is a freight rail company, Sealand, which does all of the boxes, and he was just recently from Atlas Airlines. That's where he just left to come to Amtrak, and there was one other place, some logistics company. So he's been so he does have a lot of experience, and hopefully he'll be a little bit more friendly toward long distance trains that passenger trains especially, that we're trying to salvage. Just to let you know that the Fisher's Peak funding that had been approved for the $4 million, I think they're going to kill that bill because they're trying to save some money upstate, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. I talked a little bit today with somebody, and they're still going to, CPW does have some money that they're going to be putting in some spaces up there for a soft opening, hopefully later in the year. So they're still going to go forward with some of the project, but not like that, not like what they intended. So just to let you know that. Something, Mike, I'm not sure, just want to mention, do you know if the Main Street group have looked into that funding that was available to them? There's some funding out there for the Main Street organizations. You might check into that a little bit. And last of all, trying to see what else there. Just out of curiosity, Mike, have you heard anything else about the cuts to municipalities, that was mentioned, the CML newsletter, have they come across anything yet? Have they made any determination? I can't hear you at all, Mike.
Mike, do you have audio? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. As far as the CARES Act funding, if that's what you're talking about, where the state's getting 1.7 billion and seeing if it'll funnel down. Right now, the JBC is meeting. They're talking about how to balance the state budget, and I've been in contact with Debbie Wagner, and we're monitoring that to see where that goes. And then at the federal level, they're talking about another bill to help smaller municipalities. We've been on webinars with FEMA, with every agency that we're listening in, trying to see if there's any possibility we can get funding from. We've even tried the PPP plan that COG was able to acquire some of the funding, but municipalities are not available. So we continue to try and backfill our shortfalls in any way we can. Nothing more than that, Mayor.
Okay. I got this a while back from the Department of Transportation. It's letting us know that June, of course, is bike month, and we've got a poster. We'll post it up probably out in front somewhere. But I guess I'm not sure what kind of biking we're going to have by that time. The other thing is that evidently, I think Karen, you said that there was some issues going on downtown in some of the businesses. Evidently, the county has heard about that, or maybe that's where it came from. But there is a meeting that they are putting together. It's to ask for a variance from the CDHPE and probably I'm not sure if they have to go as far as the governor, but they have asked us to participate. And what I'd like to do is myself and Mike and Mayor Pro Tem Karen Grego to participate in that meeting. From what I understand, it's supposed to take place on Thursday. I don't know of a time yet. Talked with Mike a little bit. He's not sure of any details yet, but we will keep you informed so that if there's any questions on what you would consider a variance from anybody, if you would forward them to Mike or me, so that maybe we can have some questions answered that the rest of council might have. So please let us know if you have any questions. With that, I'm going to turn that over to Mike. Do you have anything, Mike, for us?
Yeah, I have a few things, and a couple things that were brought up, like the AMI project with the COVID. Johnson Controls has furloughed their employees 2 days a week. So they're on 3 days a week. They can't travel right now, so we're kind of on hold. We're getting any at-home data straightened out between billing and when they're able to come back. Our gas meters that we ordered are stuck in customs. We're not sure if we'll get them until June.
I think we lost you, Mike. We're losing you, Mike.
Yep. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry, I keep getting muted somehow. Yeah, the AMI project is kind of in limbo with the COVID, but we plan on getting some of the gas meter endpoints done next week. As far as Monument Lake, I spoke with Mr. Mondragon and let him know that he has to have a plan in place, that is approved by the health department, and they've been back and forth, and of course, camping is not allowed, so, and also hotels, so he's aware of that, and he's, brought on board, he needed guidance, and, thank you for that. Just to let, I guess I was muted when, Councilman Williamson asked, yes, once we get up and running, those personnel will be brought back on board. It's a temporary job. The whole financial projection that we went through, and I'm making moves now by redirecting employees to other departments, trying to keep everybody going. But as we go forward, there may be more furloughs, more options that we have to consider, and I'll bring that to council. We came upon through our contacted Stantec, who does abatement grants for us, found out that the CDPHE has some abatement money sitting there that has to be spent this year. We have applied for a grant. There is no match for asbestos and lead paint abatement at the Fox Theater. It's a portion that needs to be done, and this money is available, so we're moving forward with that. No resolution required, no matches required, so I will inform council once we get that going. I talked to Kim at the health department, and we are allowed now to have meetings, but our meetings can only have 10 people in there, and they all have to be masked up and stuff. So just wanted to let council know that, and we may be able to meet. It's just figuring out the logistics to allow the public into our meetings, so we'll have to figure out that option moving forward, but it's a possibility that we can meet. Yeah, the mayor mentioned the variance to the governor's order, and we'll keep you apprised on that. And lastly, I think you all have been heard, or if you checked your emails, the CML conferences have been canceled. So we'll get our refunds there and hope for better times.
Okay, good.
That's all I have.
Les, do you have anything to report?
Mayor and council members, I'd like to ask, who is seeking a variance from the governor's order? I was a little unclear on that. I didn't say there was a meeting on Thursday.
The health department, I believe, is looking for a variance because by request by some of the business people wanting some variances to their opening. So it's just going to be a discussion moving forward.
I think the variances are requested by the health department on people's behalf, but that makes sense for the businesses. Okay, thank you. I was just a little bit unclear on that. To kind of begin my comments where Mike left off, and that is, for a variety of reasons, and I don't want to open up kind of a real Pandora's box here, but for a variety of reasons, I'm going to recommend to council that you not try to have meetings where we're all back together. And I have a number of reasons for doing that. And I think it's probably easier for me to do a memo to you. I know that there's kind of a strong move afoot now to open things up and to have people, in business capacities and settings to come together. But for a variety of reasons that I will mention, I'm going to recommend that we continue to meet this way, as awkward as it can be. And I know you may not agree with me, you may not accept my recommendations, but I just want to let you know that I'm going to be making that recommendation. And then the only thing I wanted to conclude with is, I just can't believe that the 19th is Councilman Matei's last meeting. And, you know, what do you do for a guy that A, has everything, but while you're all appearing, but I can't believe that in 2 weeks that day will be here. But a month ago, I just find your flags, or you were wearing my jerseys. Remember those days? I have a picture of you in my council jerseys, that only be conversational council, that I intend to share on the 19th, Councilman Matei. But I will. But if you don't have any questions of me, I mean, if you do, fine, but otherwise, that's all I have, Mayor.
What I'll do, what we'll do, Mike, is next Monday for our work session, we'll bring it up to council about these meetings. If they feel uncomfortable with it or comfortable with it, we'll have a short discussion on that. We'll get some input from council on Monday. The last thing, Anthony, you and I had a discussion the other night on a topic. Is that something you want to discuss tonight, or do you think you want to just leave it go?
Nah, let it go.
Okay.
I can't remember anyway, so much time has been.
Okay, and we'll let it go then.
You know, if it had anything to do with, you know, people have personal responsibility for their well-being. And, you know, if the recommendation is to wear a mask, then damn it, wear a mask. It surprises me on the rare occasions that I do go out to find as many people as there are not wearing a mask. The other day, I happened to be at Walmart, and you got to walk down certain aisles and get certain ways, and I was looking for a light fixture. And there's this guy standing there, and he's talking with another guy, and they're not doing anything except they're being where I want to be. So I'm trying to keep my 6 feet, and I'm waiting, and they look at me, neither one of them are wearing a mask. And I said, I'm trying to get right there, guys. And they tell me, well, come on in. You won't bother me. I said, no, but it scares the hell out of me. You know, put your mask on, man. Enough said about that. If you just comply, you probably got a greater chance. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I agree with you. Like I said, I've been out to Big R a couple of times, and the number of people out at Big R that are unmasked, and there's a lot of people that are, but it's really pretty disappointing to see that people are just not taking it as serious as they should be. You know, and as businesses open up, there's more of a reason to wear a mask, and more possibility of somebody spreading it. So I just don't understand why they just feel like, you know, why should I? And I think that's being very selfish of them, and they just don't seem to care. So I agree with you, and I'm sure most of the people on council probably feel the same way. If there's nothing else to bring forward, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second that emotion.
Okay, call the vote, please.
I'm clever.
Very clever.
Ditto,
Yes.
Riego,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Rico.
Yes. Hey, and before we do leave, there is one more thing I wanted to mention. I know that Karen, you had mentioned, I think at the median last meeting, about you were interested possibly in being on something with the Fisher's Peak. Is that correct, Karen?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear?
We're having some network connection problems. I'm gonna have to turn off the webcams, I think, so that you can at least hear each other.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Karen, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I think you had expressed a couple of meetings back when this thing about the Fisher's Peak thing came up of people being on, of course Rusty's on there and I'm on there, but I think you had expressed interest in being on one of the teams that's out there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because there is one, because of course we have to kind of stay away from on the sunshine law. But there is a stakeholder engagement, communications, and public involvement work group that you could fit in well if that is something that you would like to do.
I sure would.
Okay, I'll give that information to.
Just let me know where and when.
Okay, we'll keep you informed. Okay, that's it, people. All right, good night. Thank you.
Good night.
This conference is no longer being recorded.